I'd like to call the meeting of the Beal Early Childhood Center Building Committee to order. As a preliminary matter, my name is John LeBeau. I am the chair. Please permit me to confirm that all members and persons anticipated on the agenda are present and can hear me. Members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Sandra Fritz.
Present.
Erin Boucher.
Present.
Keith Baldinger.
Present.
Robert Cox.
Present.
Patrick Collins.
Present.
Christian Girardi.
Present, and thank you.
Kevin Mizikar.
Present.
Joseph Sawyer.
Present.
Staff, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Ms. Clemmy, are you still attending these meetings?
I'm still attending these meetings.
Happy to have you. And let me also check, just to do it while we're in the official part of the meeting, from PMA, we have Deb Scher and Walter Hartley, correct?
Here.
Are you? Yeah, sorry, I should call your names. Walter said here. Deb?
I'm here.
And from Lamoureux Pagano, Sean Brennan.
Present.
And from Fontaine Brothers, Dave Fontaine.
Present.
And Frank, is it Payer? I've lost where your name
Present.
is. Okay, very good. Good evening. This open meeting of the Beal Early Childhood Center Building Committee is being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12th, 2020, due to the current state of emergency in the Commonwealth due to the outbreak of the COVID-19 virus. The order allows public bodies to meet entirely remotely so long as reasonable public access is afforded so that the public can follow along with deliberations of the meeting. For this meeting, the committee is convening by Google Meet as posted on the town's website, identifying how the public may join. Please be sure to press *6 to mute your device. This meeting will not feature public comment. And finally, each vote taken in this meeting will be conducted by roll call vote. So with that out of the way, we will move to item 2, meeting minutes. The minutes of March 23rd, 2021. Questions, comments, edits, or a motion to approve would be in order.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. We'll do a roll call vote. John LeBeau, aye. Sandra Frick.
Aye.
Erin Boucher.
Aye.
Keith Baldinger.
Aye.
Robert Cox.
Aye.
Patrick Collins.
Aye.
Christian Girardi.
Aye.
Kevin Mizikar.
Aye.
Joseph Sawyer.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. We'll move to item 3, project financial documentation review. Item 3A is a review and act on some budget revision requests, number 002 to the project funding agreement bid amendment. I believe I'm going to ask PMA to talk through this. If I'm incorrect, kindly someone please correct me.
No, I can walk through this briefly.
Thank you.
What this was is we had to transfer $2,970 from Division 9 from the drywaller into Division 4 for the mason. The mason had to modify 4 precast bases and remake a precast panel due to drywaller framing installation error at, I believe it was stair B. This doesn't change the GMP, it doesn't change anything. The only reason that we had to do this PRR is because Division 4 is a filed sub-bid. That means it's a hard number in ProPay. So we need to get the 2970 into that division so that we don't become ineligible in Division 4 because we've overrun the budget. So that's why this is necessary.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from members of the committee? All right, hearing none, would someone kindly make a motion to approve the budget revision request number 002 to the PFA bid amendment as was just explained?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion. We have a second. Seeing no further discussion, we'll call the roll. John LeBeau, aye. Sandra Fritz.
Aye.
Erin Boucher.
Aye.
Keith Baldinger.
Aye.
Robert Cox.
Aye.
Patrick Collins.
Aye.
Christian Girardi.
Aye.
Kevin Mizikar.
Aye.
Joseph Sawyer.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Item 3B, review and act on some change orders from Fontaine Brothers, Inc. Two before us, 008 in the amount of $142,640, a drawdown on owner's contingency, and item change order 008A, a $0 increase. Could, again, I believe PMA would be taking us through this, or would it be
Yes,
Fontaine? Thank you.
It'll be me.
Yep.
So change order 8A increases the GMP by 142,600.
Excuse me, Walter, I'm going to interrupt you for a second, and possibly it's you, but anyone who isn't, could you kindly mute your device? And please continue.
Yes, not a problem. If it's me, I apologize. So change order 8 will be in the amount of $142,640. The three predominant PCOs that make up this are the portable radios that'll allow the building to communicate with life safety devices. I believe most people know that Shrewsbury is making a change from VHF to 800 megahertz for life safety communications. So what this will do is allow every vehicle in Shrewsbury Fire Department to have full access. Without that, we wouldn't be able to obtain a certificate of occupancy. That's for about $60,000. The other two large pieces are for floor and wall protection for the furniture move, something that we typically buy, and it's a normal thing, just not included in the construction contract originally, but adding it in now. That's for $39,493. And then the other large piece is for the additional site features not originally bought, additional benches, some additional concrete, and some additional bike racks that were not originally bought out and not originally shown on the drawings, but necessary to meet the site features. The last three were for some small adjustments, elevator machine room to make sure that the elevator will pass inspection when the inspector comes out. We tried very, very hard to get them out early to make sure, but without them being there, and they're very near impossible to schedule, we had to make some calls in the field to adjust some things. The other one is some additional trees along the ring road to provide some privacy to the neighbors at the rear. The ring of trees stopped about 100 yards short of where we would have had them. So we're adding 6 trees, I believe, to the rear of the property. And then the last piece of that change order is for, I apologize, that is all 5 of them. It was too small and the 3 large. So that is change order 8. Change order 8A is a $0 increase to the GMP. It's an expenditure of allowances. Made up mostly by moisture mitigation in the floor. The elevated slabs, so B wing and C wing slabs on deck were required to have moisture mitigation to protect the floor. Flooring materials and to keep their warranties. Other drawdowns were for drainage board that were not bought, a lot of materials that were not purchased in the original buyouts that we have money in the GMP for. And then additionally, the Lake Street paving from Highlear all the way up to almost on Route 9, the Marble and Stone and the Buffalo Wild Wings make up the change order 8A. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Thank you very much. Any questions from members of the committee? And committee members, I can't see everyone all at the same time, so if you do have something, just unmute yourself and please speak up. I don't want to ignore anyone. But hearing none and seeing none, would someone kindly make an order to approve change order 008 and change order 008A?
So moved.
Second.
And we have a motion. We have a second. Seeing no further discussion, we'll take a roll call vote. John LeBeau, aye. Sandra Fritz,
Aye.
Erin Boucher,
Aye.
Keith Aldinger,
Aye.
Robert Cox,
Aye.
Patrick Collins,
Aye.
Christian Girardi,
Aye.
Kevin Missikar,
Aye.
Joseph Sawyer.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Item 3C is to review and act on 13 bill schedules and warrants. If I recall from the last meeting, this doesn't generally require any kind of explanation and generally goes right to a vote. If I am correct, would someone kindly make a motion? And if I'm incorrect, please someone kindly correct me.
Make a motion that we approve the listed following bill schedules and warrants.
Second.
We have a motion. We have a second. Seeing no further discussion, we'll call the roll again. John LeBeau, aye. Sandra Fritz,
Aye.
Erin Boucher,
Aye.
Keith Baldinger,
Aye.
Robert Cox,
Aye.
Patrick Collins,
Aye.
Christopher Girardi,
Aye.
Kevin Missikar,
Aye.
Joseph Sawyer.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. We'll now move into item 4, hearing various reports. And the first report would be from PMA Consulting, owner's project manager. So either Ms. Scher or Mr. Hartley, you have the floor.
Okay, I'll just run through the budget summary that Val provided to everyone. The budget summary for architect's contract remains as it did last month, 7.364 million. PMA's contract remains the same as last month, 2,875,085. We've added the just approved change order 8 to the budget summary. So change orders to date above and beyond the GMP total 278,308 for total Fontaine contract value of 72,918,913. Under that, we have listed the purchase orders received through March 31st. That's 941,565. IT purchase orders through April 21st is 382,512. The project has budget for both of those buckets, FF&E and IT, of 948,000 for a total of 1.896 million. So we're under that. We're trending on budget for those two budget line items. So the total contracts POs to date, 84,483 invoices, costs through March equals 63,399,149, leaving a balance to finish against the 92 million overall PFA bid amendment value of 28,603. Just as an FYI, if you include an anticipated FBI estimated rec for April of about 3.6 million, the project is 82% complete construction. We've encumbered to date 85,608, which gives us 6,393 left. We have submitted to ProPay a total of $58,017,389.86. I'm sorry. We've received reimbursement of $22,407,940. That is what they call a quote-unquote effective reimbursement rate on the project of 38.6%. We have no pending ProPay reimbursements. We'll put one together on the invoices that we just approved, but ProPay 29 was paid. That's the summary in a summary.
Okay. Thank you very much. Any questions or comments from members of the committee? Hearing none, and assuming that concludes the owner's project manager report, we'll move on to the report from the architect, LPA, Mr. Brennan.
Good evening. Since the last time we met, a lot of work has been going on. It seems like every day when you showed up on site, there's something new in place. And as you can see from the requisition, they're billing for about 77% of the project. So as you can imagine, we're getting very, very close to the finish line. I had the entire school committee out since the last time we met to tour the building. It was fantastic. I thank them all for their time. It was great to really give you a tour and see where all your, time, effort, money, and commitment from the community is going. It was really great to see it and give them an update at their recent meeting this past month. I venture a guess that I don't have a flyover due to the weather over the weekend, which is super unfortunate because a lot of the flyovers haven't changed over recent months. But as of now, the landscaper is actually installing a lot of the trees, shrubs, grass, getting prepared for sod. As some have mentioned, they were able to see some of the play structures from Route 9. Really exciting time, both inside and outside of the building. And I will once again extend the offer. Anyone who wants to get a building tour, happy to make myself available. You just let me know. Anytime really works. But really not much else to report. No visuals, but everything's going well.
Perfect. Questions or comments from members of the committee?
Mr. LeBeau?
Well, thanks to Brendan. And yes, Mr. Bizik.
I just want to touch base. Maybe Fontaine could even update with where we are with the mural panels.
So where we are at the moment is we have the final reproduction mural in production with the custom printing laminate company. So that's underway. As far as the remainder of the lobby panels in the lobby, we're getting the final touches from Peter Reynolds' studio as we speak, and we're going to be getting those in sections. So there's 4 sections overall to the building along that long arcade wall in the lobby. And so we're expecting Section D to be released this week to us to then send through the same process. Panalam is the company that is printing them, and those will get rolled out as we go. We are also, I hesitate to share this, but we're excited. We have set up a time-lapse camera to capture the installation of those panels as kind of a way for you guys as a town to memorialize that, but also be able to share for those that, who knows with COVID, we might not be able to share it with the community any other way than virtually. So we have gone and put something in place for that also.
Thank you.
Mr. Mizigar, okay, you're all set with that? Any other questions or comments for the architect? Thank you, Mr. Brennan. And I did mention a month ago I want a tour. It's been kind of a crazy. I think I'll know a little bit better. My schedule should free up a little bit more after next Tuesday, and we're going to schedule something to come out. Mr. Kane has kindly offered to join me on said tour, possibly to point out certain nuances to me. We will move on to item 4C, report from the construction manager. So from Fontaine Brothers, I'm not sure if it's Mr. Fontaine or Mr. Payer.
Yes, good evening, everyone. Frank Payer. As Sean said, it's getting exciting out there. We're rounding third base and we're heading for home. So now comes the kind of the prickly part of making sure that it happens. Just some of the things that Sean mentioned, I don't want to be repetitive, but when you drive up Lake Street, you'll see the landscaping going in. Some of the playground equipment is starting to go in. You'll notice the canopies are all installed and painted, and they're starting to put the polycarbonate, which is the glass type panels that sit on top. All the pavers for the exterior are going in. So the outside is really shaping up. Inside, and I know, John, you haven't been there, but there are 2 main academics wings, the B wing and the C wing. And our goal was to get those first because that's where the furniture is coming in. Those are in good shape, and we're working with LPA to start the punch list process on that. So we're down to waxing the floors, final cleaning, those type items. And what we're doing is we're working our way right through the front of the building, which is your admin building, which has your gym, your cafeteria, your kitchen, admin areas, all the carpets in. Gym floor is installed and it's being sanded. That'll be finished this week. In a kitchen area, all the food service equipment is going in. While all of that's happening, we've been meeting every week with Patty Sheehan, the building inspector, and Seth Colby. And just as we're proceeding to make sure that we have proper exit signs, and we've changed some, we've moved some, all to try to head off the pass when we get to the end of May. We'll be in a position to apply for a temporary CO. That's where we're headed. It's all going good. Every day is a new adventure. Every day I find something that's not there that should be there, and we chase it down and we get it there with the help of LPA and PMA and Keith Baldinger and the rest of the staff at Shrewsbury. So it's coming along. We're almost there. I can feel it. Starting to sleep a little better at night.
Well, thank you so much. Very positive reports. Any questions or comments from members of the committee? Oh, and excuse me, Patrick, your hand is up. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. LeBeau. Just two questions. Frank, could you talk a little bit about the landscaping and the sodding in the handoff timeline to the town? In particular, the watering schedule with, the intent being from the school purposes use that that first day that we open, we want to be able to put kids on those fields and be able to use for physical education. So with that in mind as the outcome, can you just talk about how we back plan that and what the handoff schedule is for watering and maintaining?
Yeah, so the irrigation system is being installed. That is all sod. So by the time kids come back to school, the end of August, that should be established and ready to go.
Okay. In terms of the management of the irrigation system, that's just something you work out with our public buildings department and do a handoff there in terms of scheduling? And
yes, we've been working with Keith on that.
Sure.
And there will be a training for that with the irrigation company with Keith Baldinger and his staff.
Okay. And then the second question relates to like final paving and then line painting for parking spaces, and then also the line painting for Lake Street. If you could just talk a little bit more specifically about that schedule.
Yeah, so that will be the last thing that we do. We want to make sure that we get all the landscaping installed because they're using skid steers to move some of these trees around. So the last thing that we'll do when all the furniture is moved in, we'll come back. We'll get the final. It's all base coated. So we'll get the final coat in and do all the line striping. Working with T&M equipment, we have a tentative date for this Thursday to start milling one side of Lake Street. I've not, Keith and I have talked about that, but I don't have a firm date for Amarillo yet. So it's looking like that's going to start this Thursday, but I'll know better in the morning. And I will share that with Keith, but that's why we're holding off on a final coat.
And suffice it to say that stuff is the schedule planning is lined up in a way that will facilitate staff wanting to come in and the middle of August and get their classroom set up and
yes,
buses rolling in at late August and things like that.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Any other questions or comments from members of the committee? Okay, seeing none, thank you very much, Frank. We'll move on to item 5, unless there was something else. I don't believe there was. We'll move on to item 5, discuss dates for the the dedication plaque ceremony. I'm not sure who I'm asking to take lead on that. Is that you, Mr. Mizikar?
Happy to make some comments. We're getting to, obviously, from everyone's comments this evening to those exciting final touches. And just wanted to touch base with the committee and perhaps ask Ms. Fritz and Dr. Sawyer, Mr. Collins, Mr. Girardi, if what the preference would be, so we could start to line up some dates for dedication ceremony, ribbon cutting, things like that. Is it traditional to do it in Shrewsbury, before the school year starts? Is it one of the first few weeks of the year, or how do we want to plan for that?
I can start. Thank you, Mr. Mizikar. Thinking back to what we've done in some other situations, typically we've had a ribbon cutting ceremony somewhere 3 to 5 weeks after the school year opens. I know for Sherwood, I think it was in early April, but we opened that in January, right around Martin Luther King Day. And then I know for Floral Street School, it was the very beginning of October of the year it opened. I think for the high school, I want to say it was in September, maybe a little bit later in September. But I think having a few weeks to get our sea legs under us with the building operating would be a good thing. I would also strongly recommend that we do what we did with Sherwood and actually hold the ceremony, the dedication ceremony, on a school day when the students are present. The Sherwood ceremony was extremely well received by the MSBA. Matter of fact, Mr. McCarthy, the executive director, has commented me several times subsequently when he's seen me at various state events that the Sherwood dedication was among the best, if not the best, that the MSBA had attended. And that's a lot of pressure for Mr. Girardi, but I'm sure he'll talk to Dr. Lizotte and get good notes around things we might be able to do to make that a special occasion. So again, for me, probably late September, early October on a school day. And we would need to coordinate with MSBA, of course, and potentially and try to coordinate as well, potentially with Mr. Peter Reynolds, the artist who's doing the mural, and obviously, of course, local officials and state officials who will be interested in attending. But we certainly look forward to that, and we're very hopeful we'll be opening the school in full this fall, and that'll be a wonderful celebration for the community.
Thank you, Dr. Sawyer. Anything else from any other members of the committee? Well, I just want to say I did have the opportunity to attend the Sherwood event, and as you related, Dr. Sawyer, it was a memorable day, and being able to involve the kids, I think that's honestly what made it so memorable. So hopefully we'll be in a position in September that the pandemic is largely in the rearview mirror, and we can gather in a fully outfitted and staffed building. So I think we've addressed the planning for the plaque. I mean, I guess we're talking late September, early October. We should be mindful of various religious holidays that sometimes jump around the calendar. So let's just be sure we get that all straight. I think that brings us to item 6, to set the date for our next meeting. Following a normal course of business, our next meeting will be Tuesday, May 25th at 6 p.m. And unless there's any other business to come before the committee, we'd gladly take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
We have a motion.
Second.
We have a motion. We have a second. We'll call the roll. John LeBeau, aye. Sandra Fritz.
Aye.
Erin Boucher.
Aye.
Keith Baldinger.
Aye.
Robert Cox.
Aye.
Patrick Collins.
Aye.
Christian Girardi.
Aye.
Kevin Mizikar.
Aye.
Joseph Sawyer.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you all for all the great work, and we'll see you at the next meeting. Good evening.
Good night.
Good night now.
Good night.